Hello, it's me again for the fourth video of this update of January 3rd, 2021. We showed you the VHSs and DVDs. Now here's some children's books I have that I just got from the thrift store. Bedtime Story. That was like one of those First Start Easy Reader series. And this was published in Troll Association in 1988. Show you the pages. Yep. Now the next one. Now I got some little dinky golden book stories. A Day in the Park, which was published in 1985. I love those golden book stories. Yep. I love the illustrations. Little Red Hen. That's another small golden book I have. This was published in 1981. The next one we have, that is My Little Prayers, which was published in 1982. Boy, I love the illustrations. Yep. The next one is Barney Sandcastle, which was published in 1983. The next one we have, A Visit from Grandma and Grandpa, which was published in 1982. I don't have my grandparents anymore. They both passed away. Like my grandmother Nana and my dad's side of the family, Grandpa Ben. My grandmother was on my mother's side of the family as well. Good old Nana. The Very Best Picnic, published in 1988 by Eugene. In the future, I'm going to show you all my golden books. Here's something from the fast food restaurant of Wendys, the World Wildlife Forum, all about great pandas. This was released in 1988. God, I love Wendys back then. I love the illustrations. The next one we have here, a very old book called Baby Jesus. That's got to be published in It's got to be published in 1961. In the early 60s. Miss Mary Alice Jones. Yep. I have here The Storyteller of Little Red Riding Hood. Doesn't come with no audio tape. This is published in 1973. Normally these stories doesn't come with no vinyl. It comes with the audio cassette. I had to get this. I can recognize these marks. Got to be from Snow White's angle. Yep. And here's the Ten Commandments book. This book was published in got to be published in the 50s. That was around that time when the Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston was made in 1956. Edited by Mary Alice Jones. I think I have the read-along book of the Ten Commandments, probably from like Wonderland Records in 1960 whatever. I got it when I was a kid. Now here's another one called The Bible Stories for Little Children. by Mary Alice Jones. I love the illustration. This gotta be from 1959. Here's an old book of Benji from the motion picture. This book was published, gotta be 1973. Benji seems like a good dog. A movie star dog. I got some Fraggle Rock books in the series. Let's start with What Doozers Do. These Fraggle Rock books were published in, let me see, hold on. Published back in 1984 when Fraggle Rock was on HBO. This is the Doozers. The next one we got here, that is Cotterpin's Perfect Building. More Doozers from the Fraggle Rock. I love the series. And I do love Jim Henson's work. Needles with Muppets and Sesame Street. Next one we got here, Monkey's Birthday Present. All these Fraggle Rock books came out in 1984 when the Fraggle Rocks were popular for HBO. If I Would King of the Universe, yep. During the late 80s they had the Fraggle Rock cartoon show when it was so popular. Goodnight, Robo Fraggle. Yep. Got a lot of Fraggle Rock books. But I love the Fraggle Rock. Last but not least, Gilbo and the Prize from Outer Space. That's the last Fraggle Rock book I have. Down to Fraggle Rock. Dance the cares away. Worries for another day. Down to Fraggle Rock. The series were in weekly readers from the Fraggle Rock Book Club. Now I got here some Muppet Babies books when the Muppet Babies were popular during the 1980s. Let's start with Even Kermit Gets Grouchy. One of the Muppet Babies books were on those VHS tapes, like the Muppet Babies Video Storybook series, told by Kermit the Frog, was played by the voice of Jim Henson. The Muppet Babies were popular. This came out in 1987. You know it's not easy being green. Goodnight, Sir Kermit. Yep, that gotta be his nephew Robin. There's the nanny in the series. The next one we have Gonzo and the Great Race. The next one we got Baby Piggy and the Giant Bubble. Finally, in the Muppet Baby book series, I got Baby Kermit's Old Blanket. Published in 1988. I got some couple of more Muppet books. Where Are Kermit's Keys? This was this is a pretty good book. It has like everything with the movements. Rainbow Connection. The song Kermit the Frog sang in the 1979's The Muppet Movie. And I love Jim Henson and Frank Oz. Did Kermit find his keys? Published in 1995. It's Bedtime for the Kermit's Nephew Robin. Published in 1996. At the time, Muppet Treasure Island was released in theaters at that time. Those pop-up books is so popular than ever. And I'm gonna go bye-bye. I got the original Golden books. Like, let's start with the Bible stories of boys and girls. This is a very old Golden book, published in the year of published in 1953, in the early 1950s. That's when Golden Books started it in the 1940s, early 40s, around World War II. Golden Books has been around forever. Now here's Swiss Family Robinson, based on the Walt Disney's motion picture in 1960. Yep. And I have Swiss Family Robinson read-along book, published in 1982. This book was released in 1961, after when the movie came out in theaters, for Swiss Family Robinson. Now I got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I have the read-along book of it, part of the Walt Disney read-along with the Golden Book stories. This was published in 1958. And this is reissued 1976. But in the read-along was told by Hal Smith. I love these animation designs. Yep. Hello, Santa. Now here's Theodore Mouse Goes to Sea. I used to have that on VHS on that Golden Book video with the Scubby of Tugboat. Yep. That's when I used to have this story on that VHS tape. This is released in 1983. I could tell about the illustrations were on the video back in 1985. Now I got myself a Teddy Ruxpin book. Unfortunately, I don't have a Teddy Ruxpin player and audio tapes. This is The Airship, to discover a whole new world, published in 1985. The early days when Teddy Ruxpin was popular. With that, when you use the talking tape at the back of the doll, Mickey Mouse used to do the same thing. Made from the company called World of Wonders in the 1980s. I used to have one of the Teddy Ruxpin VHS tapes from High Top's Video. That was popular back then. Come dream with me tonight. Boy, here's a funny story called Whisker's Worst Day Ever, published in 19... having trouble with this page. Hold on. It was published in 1987 from the Middletown, Connecticut. I like the illustrations. Yep. These children's books was my favorite. Never grow old from them. Never outgrown them anyways. Now here's the original Wizard of Oz book. I don't mean the movie with Judy Garland and Ray Bolger and Jack Haley and Burt Lahr or Frank Morgan. This is the book by the Wizard of Oz original book was written by Frank Beam. He also did The Bluebird as well when Shirley Temple did it in 1940, which is not a great movie. Originally, the illustration of the Wizard of Oz got to be around 1901. And this book was reissued in 1984 by Weekly Reader's Book Series. I wonder if Dorothy has her ruby slippers in it. I Have a Brain by Ray Bolger. The Flying Monkeys. The Wicked Witch is Melting. That's Morgan Hamilton in the film. There's Frank Morgan's The Wizard. At that time, when Walt Disney did The Return of Oz, that was back in 1985, which is not a great movie. I got some more Muppets, like Kermit and the New Bicycle. A book about honesty. And I wonder if this Muppet book was published in the 80s. Published in 1992. Waka Waka, Waka Waka. This ain't Sesame Street with Bert and Ernie. Oh, Cookie! I'm Frank Oz doing the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. Flip, Flap, Flap. Flip, Flap, Flop. And it was published in 1992, part of the Muppet Book series. This is not the Muppet Babies. Hey, Miss Piggy, do you have Bunsen and Beaker in there? Now I got the Bernstein Bears book called Visit Farmer Ben from the Bernstein Bears Book Club series in a hardcover, published in 1993. I used to have all the Bernstein Bears VHS tapes. I still have one of their specials that came out on VHS back in the days when it's from Embassy Home Entertainment. God, I love these illustrations. Yep. Here's another Bernstein Bears book. Big Red Kite, the one with Papa Bear flies that kite. Published in 1992. By Stan and Jan Bernstein. Now I got some paperback books. Here's a Donald Duck book. It was published in 1970. Got to be published in 1954. This is reissued in 1979. At that time, when Donald Duck does the voice by Clarence Ducky Nash in the 1950s. When Walt Disney was alive. Here's The Home is Best book. The one with the animals, it's pretty good. Published in 1966. I think it's in 76. Here's a Sesame Street book called The Ernie and Book Book. Published in 70, 71, and 77. I love Sesame Street, the originals, when Jim Henson was alive. And Carol Spanning was the original Big Bird voice. Here's Farmer Grover, 69 cents back then. Published in 1977, reissued in 1981. Hello there, this is your furry friend Grover over there. Here's like another Sesame Street book called A Vegetable Soup, published in 1980. I think I wonder if it kind of comes with the audio tape. Yep. There's Cookie Monster. I love Sesame Street. I got some of the Sesame Street records. Here's the last Sesame Street paperback book I have, People in My Family. Published in originally from 1971, there's reissued in 1983. And now here's Garfield's Picnic Adventure, published in 1988. Otis and Garfield, yep, one of the good cartoon characters in the series. Now here's like Marvin Munch, like the Paper Bag Princess. Got to be from Martin Lunch. Published in 1980. It's got to be a reprint in the early, probably from 2012. This book has got to be about 8 years old when it was reissued. Robert, yep. I thought it could be like Marvin Munch. The night the toys came to life. Published in 1989. We got here like Walt Disney's Words, Riddles, and Stories, published in 1985. God, I love these Disney books. Here's some Disney characters. Yep, Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And yep, there's the characters from Dumbo. There's Dumbo, and there's Winnie the Pooh and the Cinderella characters. Tell me a story. This is the story of Cinderella. Tortoise in the Hare, that's a Silly Symphony cartoon in 1934. Three Little Pigs from 1933. And they made this series of 4 Three Little Pigs cartoons during the 1930s for the Silly Symphony. There's a Country Mouse. The Country Mouse was 1936 Silly Symphony cartoon. Now I got a movie book of Muppets Take Manhattan, published in 1984. That was the third Muppet film was made after The Great Muppet Caper was made in 1981. I have Muppets Take Manhattan on VHS. I know it had Art Carney in it, Debbie Corman, Liza Minnelli, and Elliot Gould, and some cameo stars. Even had Sesame Street characters were in that wedding scene. There's Debbie Corman. And I have this from CBS Fox in 1984 release. I think it was in 85. God, I love Jim Henson. And thank God I got out of New York. This is like going back in time to the library in Queens when I used to rent out the movie book of the The Little Shop of Horrors with Rick Moranis. My friend Malik, I think my friend Issa rented it out by accident without the library card. Here is the wedding scene with all the Sesame Street characters in it. That made me cry when I was a kid. James Coco was in it in Art Carney. Hey, Ruffy boy! Without Jackie Gleason. Now we got Doozers Disaster, published in 1984. We got two final books. The Bernstein Bears Thanksgiving. It was published in 1997. The one with the big part that was originally a special back in 1980. This was not 1997. Originally came out in 1980 from the Bernstein Bears special. And finally, I got here the complete book, like the Charlie Brown Encyclopedia Britannica book. Now I got the 13th volume as well in the series by Charles M. Schulz. Good grief. Stop calling me Sir, Marcy. I love Snoopy with all the characters. Created by Charles M. Schulz. Well, I guess that wraps it up for the fourth part of the for the update video. We'll see you again. We'll see you. I'll see you again some other time for the fifth part. Until then, this is Dan Drusty saying thanks for sticking around for it, and we'll see you again like the next video, and goodbye. Thank you.